Hey everybody, good morning. Hope everyone's doing okay. Hope your weekend's going well so far. Today I am going to be working on Coelophysis. Just trying to get it kind of caught up with where the Nemi is. Extinction, hi, how's it going? So we'll kind of get this guy worked up. Doing a little bit of prep work here in Blender. And then we'll take the model over to ZBrush, and we'll start working on some details. Cedrus, Bola, Corey, hello. Welcome. Let's check out the topology. So this topology, last time we were working on Coelophysis last week, I was like, I didn't know if the topology was done or not, because I helped out with the concepts and like base sculpting of the Coelophysis, but I didn't do like everything for it. So fortunately, one of our awesome artists on the team did a retopo of Coelophysis. So I have this mesh that I can work with, so we don't have to manually retopo our guy here. So we will just get started on UVs real quick. I gotta delete half of him though, so we can get our mirrored stuff going. Really good retopo on this, I think. Just making sure that everything, I'm not like selecting any vertices that are over the line. I have a copy of this that I can go back to if I mess up anyway. And we'll just, let's see, modifier, mirror this guy temporarily. Hey, Smogsy. These small tiers are usually my favorite to play, so I'm super excited for the Pseudo. Nice. Yeah, Coelophysis is cool. I've always liked Coelophysis. I wonder if one pattern will be based on or inspired by walking with dinosaurs. You know, I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen the Coelophysis skins. Angfan, hi. One of the previous streams I said the new Prehistoric Kingdom update is come out now and it's out. Oh, nice. Have you been enjoying it? I hope so. Actually saw the bones for this guy last weekend. He's a good size. Oh, really? Where did you go? What's it called? Exhibit did you see? I don't think I've seen Coelophysis bones in a museum yet. I don't think so. eye level with modern day humans. Yeah, they're bigger than you think. If only Sweden had good dino museums. Yeah, I'm kind of like in a dinosaur deprived region of the US as well, so I feel your pain. Going from Colorado that has some really nice dinosaur museums and like within driving distance of like a few others, to just kind of like not really much up here where I am now, as far as dinosaur fossils go. It's a little bit sad. I do love visiting museums and sketching and stuff. I'm just taking reference photos. Hey Fox, how's it going? Actually, Coelophysis is I had a book about Coelophysis when I was growing up, and it was illustrated by, I think, he's one of my favorite illustrators, but honestly, like, I know his work when I see it, but I constantly forget his name. Mark Hallett, maybe? Let me see. No, not Mark Hallett. Doug Henderson. Yeah. I had a book about I guess there's a big like deposit of Coelophysis bones in New Mexico, I think. And there's a book that's fully illustrated by Doug Henderson. He's one of my favorite illustrators, paleo illustrators. And some of these illustrations are really, really cool. Some of them, I mean, they kind of stick with me. They've been with me for a long time. I think about them when I'm painting a lot. The way he uses light and shadow is super cool. Yeah, it's one of my favorites. I don't know if I don't think I have this book anymore. It's one of the ones that I should probably try to locate, try to find, you know, because it'd be cool to just have it in my library still. But yeah, if you don't know Doug Henderson, I would look him up. He's a really good illustrator. Angfan, the museum in Sweden near me that I know of with dinosaurs has only one room, and the Deinonychus is named Velociraptor. Okay. Bola, you're talking about the weight? Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't have the like stats memorized or anything. Yeah, Coelophysis is a pretty important species as far as, I mean, ancestrally, I guess, because following the lineage down, you get some really cool dinos out of this sort of line of Coelophysoidea or what have you. Lots of the more like, in my opinion, the more like the crested dinos come from this this lineage. Dilophosaurus, Ceratosaurus, and then later going down to the Abelisaurs. So it's a pretty unique family they got going there. I wonder if I should probably take the neck off. Let's see, what else do we gotta do here? Separate the calf. I'm gonna open my cheat sheet again. I should always have that open anyway. Just taking a look at how I dealt with the Eocarcharia. Sometimes I forget how I've done previous UV layouts, so it's good to keep some sort of record of things. I think we'll do something like this. So we'll mark this seam here. And I think I'll take... Well, this mesh isn't necessarily built that way. So I usually like to take off the sole of the foot. So what I try to do is I put like a midline down the whole foot, so I can easily take it off. But maybe we can still do it. We can probably find a way. Do something like this and see how it goes. Yeah, I recently got news though, or there's a recent development. We're talking about dinosaur museums and stuff, and not being in an area with a lot. My wife and I are going to be moving to California in the next couple of months. So we should be next to a lot of, well, one museum in particular that I think will be fun to visit, probably visit often while we're down there. But yeah, it's going to be a whole new place, so I get to, you know, rework and refigure out my work station and my little studio office here. Get to explore a whole new city which is really cool. We'll be closer to a lot of really interesting like industry conventions and stuff too that we usually don't get to go to. So that would be cool too. Like Monster Palooza is one of those that I'm really looking forward to going to. I've been wanting to go to it for quite a while, but I've never had just haven't had a chance to go. Usually something pops up, or we have pets, so it's not very easy to just like find people to watch our pets for us. They had a fleshed out model standing next to bone cast. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think I've seen a similar sort of thing. I'm not sure if it was Coelophysis though. You already did the model for Nemicolopterus? No, these guys are like sort of a pair. They are part of the hygiene system for the game, so I'm kind of treating them as like a pair of sculpts that I'm working up together, kind of. And the Coelophysis is just a little bit behind, so I want to make sure that I'm getting progress on him, you know. Has one room Deinonychus with the nameplate Velociraptor, Iguanodon skeleton, old kangaroo posture, and Psittacosaurus. Ah, okay. Will there be prosauropods in the game like Plateosaurus or Lesimsaurus? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't remember seeing any prosauropod silhouettes in the roster lineup, but I'm not sure. Let's see how this all looks. This actually unwrapped fairly well. Yeah, I think we're good. Mostly. The tail is very long. Very, very long. I'm wondering if I should cut it in half. I didn't do that to the Eocarcharia. But the Eocarcharia's tail isn't quite as long as the Coelophysis. I'm thinking. Has anybody heard the possible sad news about Suchomimus? I think I saw a glimpse of it. It's maybe not a valid species. I think there's been some contention about Suchomimus for a long time, though. Since I was reading something about it. I was reading a book about Spinosaurus and they were talking about like just the general history of spinosaurids, and yeah, the mention of Suchomimus was, there was some like debate about whether it was an actual species or if it was like a mix of certain things. Yeah, it's kind of, you know, people get attached to these species and they become like their favorites and stuff, and then you find out that it doesn't really exist anymore. It's kind of a bummer, but it's the way that paleontology flows, I suppose. Tyrannosaurus was almost called Dynamosaurus. I didn't know that. That would have been totally... I mean, it's not a bad name. It's hard to imagine a world where T-Rex is not T-Rex, you know? There's some alternate universe where T-Rex never existed, and they call it Dynamosaurus. I feel like this is... I don't know. I don't really like this layout. The let me redo this. Let's get a little redo here. I'm gonna copy my notes on Eocarcharia and just kind of revisit that strategy. I don't know if it'll be any better, really. It's like, this is like, it's kind of an awkward guy to unwrap, I think. I'm trying to use as much space as I can, but the tail makes it kind of strange. I bet I think will have to cut the tail in half because it would give us a better layout. I could scale up these islands better if it were cut. So we'll probably do that. Let's do that really quick. I'll cut the tail approximately in half here. One of these loops should do it. I'll unwrap it again. There we go. See how it fills the space up better. So we're not like wasting a ton of UV space. I like that a lot better. We just have to reorganize it a little bit. Let me get I'm gonna get a test texture on here so we can see the layout, how it's working. UV map. UV0. We'll rename this UV0. This is the mirrored map. And then, yeah, let's get shader editor in here. Shaders, here we go. I got a new mouse over the week because my old mouse is kind of starting to give out on me, I think. It would like double click when it's not supposed to. And it caused me to like save over some files that I didn't want to save over. And I finally got fed up with it. And I got a new mouse. It's the same, like, similar model of mouse because I really liked my old mouse. It's just newer. Give me 1 second while I find my textures. And I'll pop back into the streaming scene. Should be pretty quick. Okay. So this is what we got. I think what I'll do is I'll might want to rotate this, like all of it, 90 degrees. Or maybe, I guess it doesn't matter. I can keep it like this. Keep it vertical. Oh, this wants to go. This would want to be sideways. So let's see what we can do about that. It's not the most convenient position for that leg bit there. Let's see if we can shift some stuff around. Tazy, oh, I'm late. No worries. We still got a good chunk of the stream to go. I keep losing track of this tongue here. It's so tiny. Kind of scary to deal with because it can easily get lost, and then if it's overlapping something, the whole UV layout is kind of screwed. So I gotta watch it. Let's double check the foot pad here, make sure that's looking good. I think this layout will work for UV0. I think so. I think we're good on this. So this is, let's call this. Call that UV0. I need to try to make this a little bit future-proof in case I need to come back to this mesh later. Let's save it right now. Maybe I should do the eyes and the teeth as well while I'm here. I think the eyes, let's see, eyes and teeth. Let's see how these look. They look pretty good as is. I think all I need to do is just give them some UVs. Let me double check. Double check the layout here. Yeah, I think they can be on their own. They can be on their own material. But I'm going to mirror them anyway because it'll make the process a little bit faster. How do I do this? Let's put this in. Let's save these out a little bit better. So I have like original copies that I can go back to in case something bad happens. I doubt anything bad will happen, but you never know. Okay, so go into edit mode and let's delete half of these guys. Select all of these. This intersection here is not great. That's going to cause me trouble later on, so I need to get rid of that. I've been through that whole thing before. It's not fun. Okay, so let's delete these. Delete faces. Delete these. Okay. This guy, we will shift over. Where's my cursor? Oh, it's because there was some weird animation running. I hit the spacebar on accident. So we gotta get this. I'm going to narrow it a little bit and then shift it over to the side just so it gets away from that center point. These are all overlapping though. Okay. Now we just have to do the repetitive task of giving all of these seams. Which is, it's not too bad, it's just you gotta go for every single tooth. All of these teeth. You know what? I just had a thought. If I'm kind of complaining, I'm being a little whiny about these teeth unwrapping. There's not actually very many teeth in a theropod mouth, but you know what does have a lot of teeth? Temnospondylus. And we have a temnospondyl. They have a ton of teeth. Very tiny, very sharp. But a lot of them. I think they actually have multiple rows of them too. They're very like kind of fish-like in the way that their teeth are built. But yeah, if I gotta prepare myself for that guy. Is this the last tooth? Nope. We still got a few more. I think what I might start doing, honestly, is like, well, it's kind of hard to do it for theropod. I've had this idea multiple times. I was like, I could just make one set of teeth and then UV them. And then just kind of like reuse them for different models, which will kind of work. It'll work depending on the species. Theropods have like fairly similar teeth, but they do differ subtly depending on what you're looking at. So it can be a little bit hard to do that sort of, what do you call it? Automation kind of thing. Who knows? I might try it later. I think I'm going to turn off transparent because it's kind of screwing me up here. All right. Oh my gosh. I didn't realize there were so many on the bottom. I thought it was almost done. Here we go. Just a few more. A few more. Okay, last one. Last one, and we are ready to unwrap. They just pop in as like a ton of little triangle things here. Let's see. Do I want to fuss with making them like all the teeth do tend to have more or less like I use a lot of tileable stuff on teeth, and I actually have a custom teeth texture like smart material that I use as a base, and it can be kind of wonky depending on how the UVs for the teeth are laid out. So we might take some time here to Might take some time here to make sure that these are all lined up properly. Let's give these a different color. Is that working? I don't know if that's working. Teeth. It's material 1. There we go. Just gonna shift these colors just a little bit so I can tell the difference between the materials. So let's see. These are, these are only one side. That's the thing also. So we're going to have double the islands. Okay, give me a second. Start organizing these guys out here. That's interesting. What's going on there? Something is happening. What is up with you? What is this weird polygon? What happened? Oh, look at that. There's a hole there. You gotta fix that. And this is not good. Okay. I gotta get that edge out of there. Lorad, love the attention you give to the small details. Keep it up. Thank you. Thanks so much. I think I kind of think of it as, you know, it's the measure twice, cut once sort of approach. At least I try to do that. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you can measure 3 or 4 times and try to cut once and it's still wrong, you know. But we try. there's so many steps in this sort of creation process of making a mesh for a video game. I mean, there's so many steps for a lot of different types of art that we make. Can be hard to get, remember how to keep everything in order, but the more you do it, the better we get. I gotta be careful of that. That's good. This one's okay. That one. What I think I'm gonna try to do is like interlock these. So that way I can try to maximize some of this texture space. It's a little bit awkward. Because again, I have double that. This is only half. So I actually have double the islands to deal with. So I have to try to pack them as close as I can. There's probably, I need to look into like, there's probably like some plugins or something for Blender that help with like this sort of thing, that like optimize the space between islands or like align islands together. There's probably some sort of solution. That way I don't have to do it manually. But I haven't had time to look into any of those, so we're just gonna deal with it right now. Like, here's what I'll give an example of what I'm going to do, or what I think I'm going to do. So this is a bottom tooth. So it's going to face the opposite direction, but we'll nest it like in there. So I gotta make space, but hopefully that gives us a little bit more of a optimal layout than just like spacing them all out evenly like I was doing. It's a little bit, I don't know. I have to gauge. When we texture the teeth, I'll have to gauge how useful this step is, because this might be a step that I don't necessarily need. And then we could just like, use the auto unwrap and leave it be in the future, but we'll see if this helps me at all. Because it is kind of annoying in Substance Painter when you try to apply, because I worked fairly hard on that smart material for teeth. It actually works pretty well, but it does require a certain amount of setup, or else the texture doesn't it relies on knowing what the top and bottom of the tooth is. So if the teeth are all like jumbled on the texture sheet, then the texture doesn't align itself right and it looks weird. So I would like to be able to use that. Then, okay, so once we're done with this, the eyes will be really easy. Those are definitely just like auto unwrap and then we're good. Probably go into ZBrush and start resuming our sculpting on the mesh. You got wrinkles and stuff to finish. And then maybe a bit of projection. I'm hoping that this this low poly mesh and the high poly still line up like really well. If not, I am going to have to do a little bit of finagling to get things to line up and project properly. I hope I don't have to do that because that can be kind of scary. Yeah. So much overlapping right now. I'm gonna have to be very careful. Okay, now we just have to unclutter all of this stuff. Are the small teeth harder than bigger surfaces? No, not they're harder to keep track of just because they're tiny and you can easily get lost. You know, you can easily lose them in the layout. So they're harder in that respect, but as far as like texturing goes, not really. You know, as long as they have their little texture space, they'll get the detail that they need. It's relative to each other, right? Like the bigger islands get more resolution, so they will actually look a little bit sharper, a little bit cleaner than the smaller ones because they have less resolution. You know, I could maybe like try to even them out, you know, like try to make them all the same size. Maybe some people do that in their layouts. I don't know. I tend to like to keep them like relative to each other. So if I scale one island, I scale them all. So that way they keep the same proportional relationship to each other. But that's just me. I think you probably, depending on who you ask and like where they are working, people will have a wide variety of strategies for dealing with UVs in general, or like very specific things like teeth or faces or whatever it may be. Like some industry pro might be looking at me right now and be like, what is this guy doing? You know, that's not the way I would do it. But this is what I feel gets me the results that I need, so this is what I'm doing. So there we go. I want more Triassic creatures, such as Hyperodapodon, Placerius, Asmatasuchus, Postosuchus too. Postosuchus is cool. Hyperodapodon. What is that? Oh, the little guys? Yeah. Those guys are cool too. Lots of weird stuff in the Triassic. It's like that blending of the, you know, where dinosaurs haven't really quite taken over yet, and there's still quite a bit of variety in terms of reptilian. You know, reptiles are trying out lots of different things, lots of weird strategies for them to survive. So there's a lot of cool stuff happening. I don't know what the plan is as far as that goes. I mean, you never know. You could maybe see some other Triassic guys introduced, but that's just speculation on my part. So this is going to be doubled. So we'll have to we'll end up shrinking this down some. It won't take up the whole square there. Okay. All right, so let's save this. And then we will... What do I want to do here? Probably want to add a modifier. Mirror that over. We can apply this, I think. Apply it. So right now, the UV set is doubled. And it's laying on top of itself. So we grab this and then shift it down. So yeah. Oh, something is not entirely selected. What's not selected? Oh, something's got an edge. Something's got an edge selected. Where is it? It's a bottom tooth, this first bottom tooth. Ah, yeah, there it is, I think. There we go. Yeah, see, one little edge like that can cause a ton of trouble if you are not careful. So we got the top bottom, or I mean, both sides here. And then we will scale them uniformly. Unfortunately, I have to make them fairly small. Might be able to find a way to optimize it a little bit more. I think I could go like this. I don't know. I'll maybe work on it a little bit more too. That way I can, because I feel a little bit guilty having so much space empty. We could be utilizing this space more for added, resolution to the textures. But I'll leave that there for now. I'll probably mess around with it. Let's do the eyes. The eyes. think we have Mastodonsaurus. Is that Triassic? And Arthropleura. I don't remember the timeline of these creatures. They also have Mahajangasaurus. Mahajangasuchus. Yeah, Arthropleura is earlier. Carboniferous. What's up, everybody? Hello. I don't think we need this whole eye, the whole back half of it. Let's see. We'll just unwrap it. Oh, it's already unwrapped, so I don't need to worry about it. That's good. That's fine. Okay. Cool. So there's the UV. Well, half of the UV. We do need to do another layout for the Coelophysis. Let's do this. We will apply. Then we'll do another one. So this is UV1. Switch to this. Get this off. Unwrap. Oh, what is going on? I don't want the... There we go. Ooh. What happened here? Oh, I'm missing a UV seam down the middle. That's what it is. Needs to go all the way down the middle. There we go. Somebody... I don't think we have Suchomimus. We have Irritator. Irritator is the guy we got. Looks like fine. I don't know why it does this. Okay. Tongues look good. I like when it just kind of does what I want it to do, like right away. I don't have to really worry too much about it. Point the face downward here. Actually, I wonder if we could fit these down here somewhere. These can't overlap. This needs to flip. Those guys can stay there. I needed to shift these over. Space is a little tight here in this corner. Ooh. Not too far. Does that give me enough space over here? Yep, just barely. That's very tight there, but it'll work. I can maybe shift these over just a tiny bit. Eh. That's fine. It'll work. It'll work. Being a little bit OCD about these things. Gotta remind myself that I gotta pick my battles. Okay. 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 That looks good to me. So we got both UV layouts here. We'll keep this one on for now because that's the one that we're gonna want. We need the normal map for that one. Vision DZ, hello. Okay, let's go do some sculpting. What time is it? We got about 30 minutes. Do some sculpting on the silo. So let's go ahead and do that. I need to load some of my brushes in really quick though. Give me 1 sec. I need to remember to load these in permanently. I keep forgetting. It happens every time I create new brushes. It's like I go through this period of like not remembering to update my brush library until one day I just finally get fed up and I throw them in there. But okay. I want my gravity brush. Oh, I already had my gravity brush in there. Pebble, skin. Subtle bumps. Wrinkle roller. Okay, I think I got everything I need. There we go. I'm back. Vision, hello, is game coming out this year? I don't have an ETA, I'm sorry. I know everyone keeps asking. I wish I did. I wish I had an answer for you, but we don't have an ETA right now. We're just trying to do the best we can, get the game out as soon as we can, but yeah. We have to... I'm sure when there are any like concrete, like definite announcements, they will be shared with the community as soon as they happen. Because, I mean, we know you guys are excited and we want to share all the news we can with you, but yeah, we got to be game studios have to be very careful with when they tell their audience like when to expect their game, because any number of things could happen, you know. There could be delays, there could be, you know, and you know, those delays can take any number of form. There's just some unpredictability in that kind of thing. I really like this brush. This is probably one of my favorite custom brushes that I've made. I really like how it it's pretty subtle and it feels pretty natural, and I don't have to like worry too much about directionality when I'm playing with it. I can just kind of go wherever I want, and I've been testing it out quite a bit. Just, you know, there's always that phase of like you make something and then you kind of have to work with it a while before you, or at least I do. I have to decide like whether I actually like it or not, or if I need to rework it somehow. But this has been performing pretty well since like the outset, which is fairly rare. Like, I really wish that happened more often, but majority of the time it's kind of like you make a new resource, gotta test it out a lot. Sometimes it doesn't work the way you want it, and you gotta go back to the drawing board, figure it out more. It can take quite a while. Like, I understand why some people are kind of guarded about their custom brushes and all the stuff they do, because it can take a long time to make, and people can kind of be a little, you know, they'll ask about, you know, can I download your brushes, or can you give me your brushes and stuff like that. I think probably at some point I'll pack these up in a brush set or something. Coelophysis, I'm thinking it should look like a marabou stork. Possibly. There could be some inspiration from it. I like marabou storks. They're pretty cool. They're a little bit gnarly looking, I think, for what we initially set out to do for the silo. Okay, getting some finer wrinkles in here. I really am enjoying these. This brush is also one of my favorites. I like the way it builds up wrinkles on the skin. Probably need a little bit more resolution in the eyes here. I probably have to subdivide a little bit more. I don't know if I want to do that here though. It's going to start getting heavy. Once I reproject the low poly to this guy, or this guy to the low poly, I should say, we can start getting really much higher into the poly counts and get way more detail in here. That'll happen fairly soon as well, so we'll get to that in the next couple streams, I imagine. Just kind of randomly marking up the tail here. It's such a small little surface. It can be kind of hard to sculpt on. Let's see what else we got here. I loaded up quite a few of my other brushes, so this one's nice. I like this one too. Got some really nice subtle texture there. You see that? Depends on how hard you push. I tend to like I was talking about last stream, I like building up my textures very kind of slowly, layer by layer. So I tend to like subtle textures like this that I can layer on top of things. Rather than like try to build in, like you could probably make a brush that has wrinkles and bumps at the same time. But yeah, I tend to not do that. I just want the control. Like I want to be able to control where each little part of the thing happens, you know? Lolette, pure art, do you really go for the things that you don't notice when they are not there, but you will notice if they get removed? Yeah. Oh, thank you. That is a good point. Yeah. That's what I feel like. That's what happens to a lot of art. Um, a lot of it can be like a subconscious thing. Like it's not something that people directly appreciate. Like it's not like something that's in your face and like you notice like right away. But yeah, you definitely notice when it's gone because the whatever it is, it could be anything. It could be like a character, it could be a prop, it could be part of the environment, lots of stuff is like that. But yeah, if you take certain elements away, like certain little details, people can feel it. Like, they'll feel like it's, oh, this is flat, or this doesn't have as much dimension, or this doesn't feel real, or whatever it may be. Yeah, like some people I've noticed, I've encountered this attitude periodically, when I've worked with like students, or just even peers sometimes, but depends. But they just won't see the point. Like if nobody's gonna notice it right away, they don't see the point in doing it. So they will skip things or like omit things. And I think, yeah, I don't know. My opinion is that just kind of, it's worth all the effort. I feel like it's very much worth the effort. Like, yeah, you might only get a couple of people who like really dive in and really, really notice and appreciate what's happening, but overall it elevates the work. And if you're an artist, I feel like most artists want to do the best work they can possibly do, so why not take it upon yourself to go for it? I don't know. Really just trying to push myself, trying to make the best product that I can for the projects that I like. And yeah, just trying to get better every time. Where is my... That's a subtle ring. There it is. I need to make like new icons for these brushes. That way I remember where they are. I did it for the other ones. It's just for some reason I forgot to do it for this standard brush here. Uh-oh, autosave. Let's add, I want to add some of these little bumps here. Oh, those are the stronger ones. I want the more, yeah. They're very, I always liked Coelophysis, like the head and the like neck. It's very like serpenty. Serpentine, maybe is the better word. Do I know the role this dino will play? This is part of our hygiene system. So the Coelophysis is, I think initially it's going to be an AI. I don't remember if it's going to be playable eventually. Not sure, but it's going to be part of the hygiene system. So I believe the Coelophysis plays a role in like the maintenance of your dinosaur, like the condition of your dinosaur. I think they clean teeth, or they might be scavengers. I think they clean teeth. I don't know. I know that there's two species that deal with the hygiene, the Coelophysis and the Coelopterus. The Nemi is another dino that I'm working on right now that is also going to be AI initially, but that one I know will eventually be playable. So you will be able to play as the Nemi. It's a very, very small pterosaur. And I think the pterosaurs, the Nemis, are going to be like parasite and wound cleanup. So there'll be different spots in the map where you can kind of stop off and, you know, get a little like a cleaning station sort of thing. Keep your dino nice and free of parasites and free of infection and all that bad stuff that can happen to you while you're playing. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool system, pretty cool idea. I like when you can, you know, games can find ways to gamify these sort of naturally occurring relationships and, you know, give it kind of a purpose in the game, but still kind of, there's a little bit of education there, right? Like, because these things do happen in nature. You have, you do have animals that basically set up little cleaning stations, and larger animals purposefully stop by to get help with parasites or cleaning up wounds, like medicating themselves as well, like Like there are like in the Amazon, there's like clay deposits that parrots and monkeys go and visit, and they eat the clay, and it neutralizes some of the toxins that are in their food. So it's like they stop off to get a little bit of medicine to settle their stomach. And it's cool that a game like ours can teach people about that sort of thing, you know? Oh yeah, that's right. That's a good example too. Yeah, the birds that'll sit on ant piles, and then the ants can excrete like their venom actually is like has antibiotic properties, or like microbial properties, and the birds will use it as like medicine to like help them fight infections and things like that, parasites on their feathers. That's a good example. I mean, humans kind of do certain behaviors like that as well. Like, I mean, we do it a little bit more, we're not so much in harmony with with some of the stuff we do, but like there's people that use like bee stings to alleviate certain things. I think bee venom can help with like certain things like Lyme disease and stuff like that. I mean, there's that other side of things too, right? Like, I think there's a monkey, that will purposefully, I think it's what are they called? Lemurs. They'll purposefully find these millipedes that excrete this venom, and they'll purposefully like agitate the millipede to get this venom and they'll ingest it, and they'll basically they'll get a little high off of it, which is kind of funny, or like drunk. I don't know. I don't know if we want to do something like that. And think it would be kind of funny. Yeah, I don't know what benefit that would bring. Like if you tried to gamify that sort of thing, it would probably just be like a little funny thing that you could do. Maybe it doesn't have any benefit. Monkeys get intoxicated with millipedes on Friday night. Yeah. It's interesting, like, because, yeah, I don't know what benefit that would have to the monkeys other than pure just, like, recreation, right? Because you are making yourself vulnerable. You're kind of impeding your reaction times and your awareness. But they must find something about it. That would be pretty funny. I mean, it could be kind of like, you know, you have to learn which millipede is a good millipede to eat or to like help you, and which ones are like gonna mess you up, you know. So that could be kind of fun. I don't know. Maybe suggest it in the Discord. Alrighty, everybody. Got some good progress today. We're almost close to being able to get. I gotta project the details from this mesh to the other one before we can do it, but we should be getting into some scales for this guy soon. Yeah, thanks everyone for popping in today, chatting with me. I hope you have a good weekend. And I'll see you on the next stream. Bye-bye.